Usual, we will fire off the invite to Bobby, and then we will be ready to do this. For those of you that were here yesterday, that was a lot of, I hope I didn't steamroll you guys. That was a lot of fun. And you saw my full process of how I built everything. And I did really, really well, actually. I didn't win the monster like Bobby did, but I was like second in like a live qualifier. And then I got with the lineup we built actually on FanDuel, I lost by fractions of a percentage point actually, which is a little annoying. But overall, did very, very nicely. And I hope, forget the results aside, I hope you guys got something from that. So we're going to do, you only have me for about 45 minutes or so. Then I have to get rolling. And it's been, the weather has taken several of these baseball games off the grid. So projections are not really updated. I've just been kind of not winging it. I've been just making kind of manual adjustments to my SaberSim and to everything with respect to building these things. Because you'll see, like, I still have guys in the postponed gains in my grid here, but I just manually took out some of these others. And actually, that was pretty helpful to have SaberSim to be able to do that for me also. What's up, K9? Oh, no problem, Adam. And I have Bobby coming here as well. And yeah, he said I'm kind of dressed a little bit and going out in about 45 minutes. So I'll have to cut my end a little bit short. And here's Bobby here. Okay, there he is.
Hey, what's up, man? I think we should do something a little different today. And I was going to run it by you beforehand, but I got stuck in traffic as I was dropping my daughter off. I think we should probably try and keep it to a half hour because I'm going to need weather information, and that's the entire slate for me. What are your thoughts on making this a 6:30 cutoff?
Yeah, well, I was just telling. I'm leaving at 6:45 anyway. But
there you go, perfect.
But I'll hang out to 6:45 and talk about the NBA.
Okay.
Because I'm fading all the weathers. I'm just fading it all.
So no Chicago. No pitchers.
No, don't need it.
Okay, I'm playing a ton of lineups and those would be the preferred ones. So for me.
I'm going. Listen, I'm going out to dinner anyway. I just can't do it. You know what I mean? I'm just
okay. Yeah.
I'm just fade it all. I'm playing Bueller and Cole and playing the St. Louis, playing the Arizona, playing my Kansas City. That's my kind of hoodoo. On FanDuel, and on DraftKings, I'm just basically pretty chalky actually. Just something to do tonight, and did a little more work on the NBA. Which I thankfully don't have to hang around for. It's weird. Like baseball, you have to hang around longer for nowadays.
This weird weather storm that's going on in the Northeast, man. It's been crazy.
Yeah, and we were going to it was supposed to be a pool party tonight that has been moved inside. So.
Oh, really? Is there a pool inside?
No.
That would have been.
So let's go over what you what you were thinking, weather-wise, and how does the weather affect what you wanted to do? Because for me, like from a pitcher's perspective, you're playing more lineups, so you're going to be obviously playing more pitchers. I had set myself on Cole Bueller, and that's it, like a long time ago today. So I didn't even really just think about like whether I want to play Keuchel or Jordan Lyles or. Is whether Hyun Jin Ryu, is that game even going to go? So it's so I didn't really put a lot of effort into it. Like, this is what my sheet looks like. But again, like I look, think of it this way: if I'm playing Cole and Bueller, there's literally no reason for me to think of separating those SP2s. But tell me what you think of all those SP2s. Like, who do you like?
So I like Manaya and Ryu and Otani. But I do like Cole Bueller the best. and I have 100% Cole on FanDuel. Playing this lineups. I really liked the idea of playing the Red Sox early in the day, and now it looks like that game has like the same risk as the game. I mean, it looked like it was. I thought there was no way at the beginning of the day, and now it looks like it has lower risk than maybe some of the other games, or at least similar risk. So that's what I'm trying to figure out right now. My favorite stacks are the White Sox, Cardinals, and Diamondbacks, which are going to be chalky. The Red Sox would be the next one with the Yankees.
Don't I don't know how many lineups you're going to play, but I would use a couple of Casey Mizes.
Yeah, I get it. Probably not going to do it, but I get it.
The other DraftKings teams I'm using some San Diego, but again, I'm not playing that many lineups over there. So for me, it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty chalky what I'm doing. I'm playing Cardinals. I'm playing Arizona. I'm playing, that's pretty much where I'm at over there with the two big pitchers, and just hope that I shuffled enough to get somewhat different. I have like a Kansas City on DraftKings, but what I was a little more differentiating on FanDuel. I think was I have a decent amount of Kansas City on FanDuel, and then I have Kansas City paired with somebody a little different over there. Who was it? I don't remember. Hold on a minute. Because again, I pretty much got everything set because I didn't want to have to sweat the weather. It was Kansas City and Marte is out.
Yeah.
Oh, and Minnesota. Minnesota was the other one.
Yeah, I have some interest in Minnesota as well. And I've got little mini Seattle stacks and Dodgers stacks.
Yeah, I like the Dodgers a little bit.
They just literally lit this guy up two starts ago.
Yeah.
And that was in San Francisco. So that's definitely one that I'm into. It's weird though to have a slate like this. I did have a pretty decisive. I mean, the weather even in Chicago, even like it being cold, doesn't help either. But I do think those are the best. I think that's if all other things considered, I think that would be what you should be attacking today in general. But I totally understand if you don't want to. I'm just it is a big deal for me. Yeah, that's just where I'm at.
Let me just do this Marte swap, and then okay.
1, 2, 3. And
yeah, I have to say, not that I was rooting against you because I really didn't know who you had last night, but running Bassett out for that ninth inning for no reason, like that cost me.
For no reason. He had no pitches and he was dominating.
He had 102 pitches going into the ninth.
I know.
And the game was over. There was no reason. Anyway.
You always let your pitcher get the complete game when you can.
It was going to be his first one of his career, too, I think.
I know, but he's thrown over 100 pitches like 40 times.
In any case, that cost me a live seat by like literally less than a point.
No way.
Yeah, it's all right. I knew it was coming.
You really weren't happy for me. Okay. I get it.
No, I didn't know you had it at the time.
Yeah. I mean, he was chalk anyway. By the way, I didn't need it, so I guess it didn't help anyway.
No. Let me see who. Let me just make sure I have nobody that's not playing anymore. So Marte. Do I have any Marte on DraftKings? Let me just see. No. How could I not have any Marte on DraftKings? I guess because I was smarter over there. I knew to take him out. I don't know.
I wasn't ready for that one either. It caught me a little bit off guard. I had a ton of them, and there's not like one natural pivot you just jump to. You can jump down to Peralta in the same game.
My biggest buy-in on FanDuel, by the way, leaves $1,400 on the table.
Any particular reason?
I just don't want to make a single change in any of these positions, any of these players.
Okay. Yeah, FanDuel, I mean, the pricing is so soft. It doesn't. I can get it. but I ended up using up my salaries. But yeah, I mean, it's a slate where people keep talking about it's a big slate. It's not as big a slate as we think it is, and we don't know what's going to happen. Let's see. I'm waiting for that other game to be delayed at any second.
Which one?
If the White Sox game is delayed, it's a good sign if you're playing the White Sox.
Yes.
Because that's the best case. If they start it, there's a chance you might get a game cut short, just based on what I've heard so far. But again, I want to actually listen to some weather stuff and figure that out, just because it's a lot of money on the line today and all that. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and again, dropping questions throughout this all the time. Let's see. We got questions about the Twins. Interest in the Twins a little bit. Again, I don't think the hitting conditions are great there either, by the way. Minnesota, Woba. Chris is putting out a stat. If that's really a 14-day stat, I really don't care, because I don't know how many lefties they even faced in the last 14 days. I will always take the long-term results, and they have 5 guys who absolutely kill left-handed pitching. But I'm still not my favorite stack. But I certainly wouldn't be using 14-day stats on teams with, hitters like Nelson Cruz. And also Minnesota's lineup has been different because Kirilloff wasn't playing. And then you had Cruz was out. It's Polanco's back. Not that he's a great hitter, just that he's changes the lineup. And I like my favorite play on the night, though, is Adolis Garcia. I'm going to say that probably every day until they make his price higher on DraftKings, and I don't mind him paying for him on FanDuel. This guy leads the league in home runs, yet no one seems to know who he is. And I'm just always going to play that guy. Chris Davis, yeah, or Davis, or Reddick. Ugh, what year is this when I'm deciding between Chris Davis and Josh Reddick for a position?
Yeah, I like San Diego, by the way, K9, just as a way to just take some to something else.
Yeah, that's fine. I think the better play is Houston, but
maybe.
Yeah, Lamet's not gonna. I mean, how long is he gonna pitch? He hasn't pitched more than 3 innings yet. They do have a good bullpen, but so does Houston, and Houston has a good starter. So I'm leaning Houston on that side. I have a lot of Bregman. He's really the only guy I'm playing from Houston. I'm not stacking him, but I definitely get the stack, and I don't mind going that way. But and individual bats for San Diego, they make you want to play them. So the funny part is you can play San Diego, which seems like it'd be a low owned stack, and they're not going to be crazy owned, but I mean you're going to get ownership on Will Myers. You're going to get ownership on potentially Tommy Pham and Tatis, and those are the guys you want. So it's not really that low owned unless you do something else different. Also, I'm finding on DraftKings that I definitely need to use guys like I'm using some value, guys like Owen Miller, if I'm not using Ryu and et cetera. And it's really hard to do that if they don't play. So I'm very I feel a little scattered on this slate is because it's just such a. I mean, it's not even. It's worse than the NBA because you literally, you're done or you're not. And is it worth it to take the risk? Maybe not. But at the same time, everyone else is thinking that too, and it's going to make Arizona and St. Louis extremely high owned. Although I actually don't think they'll be quite as high owned as maybe some people in the industry do.
What about the theory that the later games are going to be the highest owned because people are just, you know what I mean? Because they're going to, because whenever everybody gets postponed, everybody's going to pile in those. So if you could find something in an early game that you like, you might want to play that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Yankees, Casey Mize, that's all well and good and all, but I'm always going to he's been terrific lately, but I'm completely on board with stacking the Yankees here. And I can't believe no one is going to do it on DraftKings.
You don't think anybody's going to do it?
I mean, the ownership projections are just nothing. That could be wrong, you know. I just don't see anybody projected to be owned like at all. And you're right. I probably should get some Casey Mize in my DraftKings builds. That's a guy.
I mean, if you're going to play that many lineups, you know, I think that
I'm playing Jordan Lyles. I'm playing Ohtani. I'm playing Ryu and Minaya a lot, but I can probably eliminate one of my Ryu lineups just because there's enough risk in that game. The problem is that you have the best pitching weather like in history for a guy who, I mean, I just think Ryu will cruise here tonight. I really do. I'm looking for some umpire data because I had some of it earlier, but I didn't have all of it, so I haven't updated my spreadsheet. So let me see that real quick. And again, guys, yeah, fire in any questions as we go. Cheats, can you believe it? I did a 7-minute NBA show today. How about that for a quick show?
My hero.
You know, if it was me and you talking about it, I probably would have talked for an hour and a half.
You should, man. Who was here yesterday? Somebody was here yesterday in this chat. Tony. I did the live thing yesterday myself. I did like a full hour. I just didn't like shut up for one. I just literally built my lineups from projections right through to Saberson right through everything. And I took a couple of questions and the FanDuel lineups I built just all freaking smashed. And there's one freaking troll I took care of in like 2 seconds. And, it was pretty cool actually.
Nice.
So it's good to see that I can hang in there by myself every once in a while.
That's awesome. You're better at it than I am. I'm a better man than me because I really am not. I don't enjoy them as much, and they're really hard for me to do while I'm trying to do my lineup. So I definitely prefer doing the 2-man thing right before lock at least.
Yeah.
Is Chris Taylor? Where do we have him tonight batting? Yeah, the Dodgers are, initially I think we're going to be low owned, but because of the way the slate's broken out, they're actually probably going to have ownership, which is fine. I still like them, but they're not going to be crazy ownership, but it'll be some. Carson Kelly, let's turn that into my man. Yadi Molina. I do like that St. Louis's lineup. Every second St. Louis's lineup doesn't come out, I like it better. Feels a little bit better each time.
What do you mean?
It's better chance that they get a little bit lower ownership on them.
I guess so, huh?
Every single second that ticks is a second ticking in the right direction. All right, I'm gonna take a look for questions in a minute, guys. And there is my Casey Mize lineup. Unfortunately, with Garrett Cole, but I think that's okay.
Oh, of course.
On DraftKings. And let's see. So I'm looking at my umpire data here. Let's see what we got. Not a lot of extremes. The most extreme hitters umpires are in LA and Cleveland. I'm sorry, in LA and Minnesota. So, I mean, bump to Dodger bats, a little downgrade to Buehler, still fine with Buehler. I do think that Ohtani is like the weird, interesting play. Like usually on a big slate, I would not want to play a guy who can be limited in pitches and has all these different possible red flags. But he's just the K upside. I mean, you look at the K props for today, and he's supposed to strike out the second most guys on the slate, third most guys on the slate, just barely behind. He's 6.5, Buehler 7.5, and Cole, of course, is 9.5. I'm definitely interested there a little bit. I really hate the other pitching now that I look at it more. Like I just think I might need to get more just Cole and Buehler. But the problem is, not that the hitters umpire matters so much, but I just think that there's enough upside for some of these guys at low prices. You mentioned Mize. I do think Minaya has plenty of upside. Ohtani has the strikeout upside, but it's just the pitch counts. It's tricky, man, with him.
The only thing, and again, you have to keep in mind that about Mize, and I discussed this last time after he pitched, is that he's not like around the plate. In other words, like he's either on it or he's like he misses by a lot. So like the Yankees are not gonna You know what I mean? They're not going to be flailing at some of those that whoever I had him against was flailing at. So that was definitely a lot of 5 walks and 2 innings danger. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, for sure.
So that we got to be careful with that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to answer a couple quick questions while we're in here. Ruben says, what are the favorite stacks? He just jumped in a little late. For me, it's the Cardinals, Diamondbacks, White Sox if it plays, Yankees, Red Sox if it plays, Twins, Dodgers, Mariners, in that order. And then not a baseball question from K9 Bronco for me. And Cheech, you're free to weigh in on this one too. Blake and Claxton together on FanDuel tonight.
Yeah, so I think that's a good transition because I do want to talk about the NBA.
Let's talk about it.
We do have to leave in I have to leave 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah.
I didn't have she's talking about FanDuel. So
yeah.
I mean on FanDuel, I didn't get to, I mean, just so you know, I didn't get to a shred of Blake Griffin. And I only played like one lineup with Claxton in it on FanDuel. So I don't know. I guess you could play them together. I personally am not going to get to either of them.
Claxton's in my main lineup on FanDuel. Blake Griffin's in my main lineup on DraftKings. I actually don't mind them together, and I will probably throw them into one lineup together. But I think you're better off playing Kleber instead, even though it feels like an overpay.
Yeah, so I'm going to tell you who I'm playing in that position. But before I do, I'm going to also just mention, as we will talk about DraftKings also, that I do have Claxton in just a shitload of DraftKings lineups.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I know that that power forward eligible over there, but you know what I'm playing a power forward. I'm playing at that price sort. I'm playing Marcus Morris. So that's I guess why I don't have as much Claxton or Blake Griffin. So I ended up with this Marcus Morris thing. And the other thing I'm doing on and what I want to talk about is very similar of the idea of playing guys together, because I'm not struggling with this, but I'm finding that on FanDuel specifically, but DraftKings too.
I think you should play Paul George, and is that what you're getting to? Paul George?
Like I wanted to play either George and Leonard together. That's a question. And also I'm interested in playing Luka and Porzingis together on FanDuel. So tell me about the two pairings, and where you're at with those to start off the slate preview, I guess.
Those all make perfect sense.
Okay.
I prefer Adam Duvall is scratched, by the way. I personally I love that's the game you want to stack. I think you have to play Paul George and Kawhi everywhere on DraftKings. I actually did on FanDuel something different and played Durant over Kawhi over there. Sort of to get to, like it's not going to be like way off the board or anything, but they're both going to be owned. And I like Durant, and I wanted to play Luka with both those guys on DraftKings, and I can't play Durant also if I play both those guys in Luka.
I'll tell you who's the play you have to play, and it's not. I don't think he's going to be particularly sneaky. And I was going to say this, and then I actually watched your video today, and you talked about this a little bit, so I want to stress this. I had him in his last game too, and he played a lot of minutes because he was coming back from injuries, ramping him up. But DeAndre Hunter is just really, really a good play.
Don't even see how you don't play him. I can't believe the projections on him. I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm on both sides actually for me. Yep. So it's like they like this kid, you know what I mean? And they brought him back, and they start off with very few minutes, and they ramping him right to the playoffs, and here we go, 31 freaking minutes in his last game, and he actually wasn't perfect, you know what I mean? He had some turnovers, he missed a couple of bunnies, whatever it is, so he's still kind of on the upswing. That's one guy I wanted to mention.
Yeah. I think that he's got. I mean, I think that like if he was like 5K, we could have a good conversation about him being a good play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got a couple of guys I got 100 of on DraftKings. And it's just to take it into context. I'm playing 2 like $100 single entries or something like that, and 20 of the $20. So that's just kind of the context of what I'm doing. I have 100 of Derrick Rose. I have 100 of Kawhi Leonard, and those are the 200s. And I have pretty damn well close to 100 of Paul George. And I have a lot of Trae Young too. So those are my highest owned on DraftKings. Where are you at on DraftKings? If you would, if you wouldn't mind.
100 Paul George, 100 Kawhi Leonard. Right now I have 100 of Luka.
Okay.
100 of Rose and 100 of Hunter. Gives you a pretty good idea of where I'm at. Oh, and I I'll throw the Kleber, Claxton, Blake Griffin, Taj Gibson, Noel, just mixing those guys around.
Yeah, I got 77% Claxton, as I mentioned earlier. I have some Taj Gibson. I have 50% Kleber right now. I honestly don't think I'm changing it. Where I am under on again, you can't play everybody. I am under on Luka on DraftKings. So if Luka smashes, you're going to be in better shape than I am on DraftKings.
I don't think he's going to be incredibly high owned, by the way.
No, I don't necessarily think that either.
Yeah.
And then on FanDuel, I've got. Do I have 100? I don't have 100 of anybody, but I've got a lot of. Again, Marcus Morris, Robert Williams. Back to Marcus Smart, of course. Derrick Rose, Paul George. I mean, nothing earth-shattering. Fournier is really cheap over there. I did the Dorian Finney-Smith. I tried to pivot off of him. That's why I was getting to more DeAndre Hunter. I think that if you could find the 300, you know what I mean. I think that going from Smith to Hunter is probably give yourself a lot of upside. And that's where I'm on FanDuel. Where are you on FanDuel? Anything particularly different than?
Well, like I said, I do like the idea of playing Durant instead of Kawhi over here.
That was good.
But partly it's a little bit correlative because I find myself with a little bit more interest in the Boston guys on FanDuel than I do on DraftKings.
You know what I got on FanDuel, by the way? Got a full 40% off. Guy you haven't played in a while. I hate him actually.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, 3-game slate, playing one of the top players on the slate. Why not?
So I think that I'm going to feel really stupid because I think I am going to end up playing Marcus Morris in my big one on FanDuel. And I think it's just the writing's on the wall for how bad this is. I've watched these Clippers games. He will not shoot the ball. I've never seen this before. Like, he literally will be wide open, and this is not even like him, and he just won't shoot the ball. Yeah, he's playing minutes, but Kleber plays minutes, and at least he's willing to shoot and be aggressive on defense and things like that. I'm very concerned about I'm actually worried that Morris might even get faded out of the lineup tonight. So I'm very nervous about my love for him. I'm also nervous the fact that I'm going to play Noel on FanDuel. I prefer Taj by a long shot on DraftKings, but I am going to play some Noel on FanDuel.
I got one lineup with him on FanDuel, and the other guy that I really would, I was trying to force him in some hand builds. Then he just kind of faded away. 2 guys. One was Kemba, but I just there were just too many better guards, I thought. And then who were you just mentioning? Because it reminded me of somebody, not Robert Williams. Who were you just talking about on DraftKings? You were saying Kleber. Oh, Marcus Morris. Right. I actually forgot who I was trying to jam, and I ended up not doing it. So I guess now that I just forgot. But Kemba was a guy I was really thinking about. I just ended up not doing it though.
Yeah, I am playing Kemba in my big one on FanDuel now, and I actually think I might take Derrick Rose. I think that Derrick Rose is a safer thing, but it's mostly because of the game flow. Like if Boston stays in this game, I could see Kemba could be like the second or third highest scoring player on the slate if things break right.
That's true.
if this was a matchup during the regular season, we would have been into Kemba at 7K in these situations. And I know it hasn't worked out so far, but I do think that he's got it's weird to be playing Derrick Rose at basically a similar price over Kemba, I guess is what I'm saying.
And you probably talked about this, multiple times in your video or whatever, but one of the reasons why you're playing Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and together, and it's a combination of them being cheap, and it's just totally must win. These guys are going to play this is not Paul George getting vertigo. This is not Kawhi resting. This is not 31 minutes of Kawhi Leonard. You know what I mean? There's just, right. It's just, and even if, can I tell you something? Let's just say that they play and somehow they're up 20 at the end of the third. They're going to play him anyway. You know what I mean? They are not in their minds. They're not losing this game. You know what I mean? So it's going to, and that's one of the reasons why Marcus Morris is a kind of a dangerous type play. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it's going to be the George and Kawhi show, up and down the court. I mean, Kleba could fall into some rebounds and he could do some stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he can shoot too. I mean, he'll take some threes.
Yeah.
So we got Noel is officially a game time decision. Could be limited if he plays. Taj Gibson is obviously a great play. I think I'm going to have to skip Noel, and I'm having trouble. I with my current build, I actually might have to go to Zubac. I don't think that's right though, so I think I'm going to have to try and find a way to get to Robert Williams. Well,
I don't think Zubac is that bad a play.
It's not ideal, but nothing's ideal, I guess. And even Robert Williams, there's variance in that guy's game, obviously.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so being the chalk on FanDuel, yeah, I guess that is kind of interesting there.
You like any Tim Hardaway?
Yeah, I think I ended up with some of him on FanDuel. I don't know that I love it, but I prefer trying to get to Marcus Smart. But it's fine. I have it. I mean, I'm playing him some because I find the money being really tight today for basketball, obviously, because we want to play all these guys. It's going to be like that every playoffs, but obviously today is especially that way.
Who's cheap, by the way, on DraftKings is Clint Capella.
Yeah. We just went through, hopefully answer K9 Broncos question. I don't like any of these guys. Capella you can play, but I mean, it's just you're gonna have to do a different type of build than I'm doing because I can't get to him with the way that I'm building. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Yeah, so I don't like the centers on FanDuel, so I think maybe that is a good way to go. I do think that there is some, I think Zubac should be really low owned, right? For considering
nobody's playing that.
Yeah, nobody's going to do it. So that's enough of a reason for me to do it, I guess.
He's just not going to. Well, I shouldn't say that.
I mean, he's literally against this team during the regular season. He put up 40 and 40 and 30 or something. So the Clippers are. I mean, I don't know what the hell is wrong with it. It's just really bad. But yeah, I think Zubac and I think Taj Gibson now is the other one I would be playing.
Is he power forward eligible?
No. Oh, on FanDuel, on DraftKings, yes. On FanDuel, no.
On FanDuel,
I just want to jump and listen to the weather thing in a minute because I definitely want to try to figure out exactly how much risk I'm going to be taking on with some of these games and don't want to just give away $5,000 tonight. So I might have to go in just a minute.
Taj Gibson is 5K. Okay.
This is so tough. All right, guys, any last questions before I get out of here? I'm going to give it another minute. Will, great. This is, I don't know if this is a troll thing or not. Sheets says Forbes is a terrible play. You know what? Sheets apparently didn't realize that Dante DiVincenzo was going to get injured right in the first quarter of the game. So Sheets, how could you not know that? How did you not know Dante DiVincenzo was going to get hurt right away?
Yeah, I mean, all I can do is give you my opinion, and I thought he didn't rate anywhere close for me on my board.
You take away the shooting guard, the other shooting guard. Of course he's gonna have a game.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm
no bragging involved in guys getting injured and playing.
But you know what? I'm glad that I am glad that he made you money. And yeah, and we talked about this. That's one thing we talked. I'll let Bobby go in like a couple of minutes. But one of the guys asked me a question on there, and I think this is worth mentioning. I spent a little time talking about this yesterday. They said, "Are you any good at this? You any good at that? Not what do you know about this? Like what you like this guy? You really like this guy? How can you say?" I'm like, look, the fact is that I'm just learning like everybody else is, and even like the people that have been around, or for a while that give out pick, whatever it is, everybody's just trying to learn. Everybody's just trying to get better. I'm never going to come out and say that I know what's going to happen. I am literally just trying to learn and trying to improve every single day. And hopefully this type of format lets you kind of come along with me and watch me try to improve, and you can improve also, So, if you ask me what I think of a play, I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to be right. There's no right and wrong. It's just continuing to learn. So that's kind of the vibe I want to continue, as we continue to do this, But if you put it to me, you like Bryn Forbes, and I said, no, I don't really like him. And as a matter of fact, I thought it was a bad play, and I did. And, and yeah, we can talk about, would he have done whatever? I don't know the answer to that, but I'm just giving you my opinion along the way. Anyway, so if you had a choice, would you play Kleber and Finney Smith or Blake and Hunter on FanDuel? That is interesting, isn't it?
Taj is starting. Doesn't look like Noel's. I'm guessing Noel's probably not going to play.
Okay.
Sorry, I felt like that was needed to be said.
So I guess an interesting point is that Kleber and Finney Smith are both on the same team. So, if you had, Kristaps and Luka in your lineup, you probably don't want to get four of those guys together.
I don't think it matters with Finney Smith. It's so many other things that he does. He doesn't usually take away production from other people. Okay. So I wouldn't worry too much about that one personally. I'd
probably rather play maybe Kleber and Hunter if that's makes any sense. Yeah, I don't know how the prices work out, but
no, that makes plenty of sense to me.
I don't know. I'm not too into you. I know, but you like Blake in your DraftKings or your FanDuel, Bobby. You said
I have him more on DraftKings than I do on FanDuel.
Okay,
but I think he's fine either place, personally.
Will, from your mouth to God's ears, I hope he has a good game, because that means that I will do well on FanDuel, as will probably 60% of the population.
Yeah,
because he's going to be really chalky.
Yeah. By the way, I really like a Robert Williams pairing with Claxton on DraftKings.
Ooh, that's cool.
Because it also fits a narrative, which is not a narrative. It fits a potential game flow situation, which is really possible, and that's a blowout. Every game in this series should be treated as a potential blowout, or at least a team controlling the game. Not only will Robert Williams get the bench run in that situation, Robert Williams will get the run when they're trying to come back when the initial blowout starts, and both halves. And Claxton will get the run for Brooklyn in the blowout, obviously. So that's I think a really good pairing, a way to double play centers there, and you can get a little different doing that. Serge Ibaka is out.
I thought we know that. Okay. The other I also like to tell you guys who my worst play today is. I think that's important to understand what that is.
Good.
Yeah, my worst play today is having 30 on FanDuel. I have 35% of Bruce Brown. That's the worst play on the board. So I'm just letting you guys know in advance.
I get it, man. This is what you have to do. You have to try and make a weird stance in one spot, and there's nothing wrong with taking that shot there. I actually think that, again, another guy who's going to get blowout run and regular run, totally makes sense. I think without Jeff Green, they were sort of using him in this weird, small ball 5 type of position early in the season. So I kind of like that.
Yeah. So
Robert Williams is going to be the mega chalk on
St. Louis lineup is out according to K9 Bronco.
Okay. All right. I'm going to have to run because I'm going to check out this.
I'm going to hang up for a minute, just for no other reason. I want to check this St. Louis lineup.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck to everybody. Thanks so much, guys. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Let's have a great weekend, and let's start it off right with a big win tonight.
What is the St. Louis lineup? Do you want to post it here for me, K9, so I don't have to look for it? Is there any surprises?
That would be nice, K9, if you could. All right, guys. Good luck, everybody. I'm gonna bounce.
Okay. I'll find it, but if you could just find it for me and post it, that would be really appreciated.
Yeah, it's hard to do both.
Yeah. Let's say you can split.
I'm just trying to get my final builds in basketball before I do.
Yeah,
all right. Good luck, everybody.
I should find it here. Oh, no. Yeah. Not yet. Where is it? I still don't have my Cardinals yet. Let me see. Do you post it in here yet? Why would you have to leave early for them? Oh, I think because of the weather. Will, I think he was, he had a lot going on, and it was all he wanted to focus on, like the late weather reports, something like that. See what I'm doing? I'm being really lazy. I'm just putting in my stuff and leaving. I'm going. I got dinner plans with my wife, so I'm just don't do what I'm doing. I'm basically just fading all these weather games. I just can't deal with it. I just can't deal with getting a postponement and then having to switch it while I'm up, while I'm out my cell phone. It's not going to happen. So I just faded all of it. I figured it wasn't as important to get those weather games in my lineups as it might be for other people. So I'm just not doing it. Edmund, Carlson, Goldschmidt, Arenado, Molina. I got them all. Oh, thanks, Timothy. And I got the Sosa, Thomas. Okay. Awesome. Then the pitcher. What else you guys got? You got any other questions for me here? I'll hang out for a few minutes. Then I gotta throw on some shoes, and then Mrs. Sheets will be summoning me for the evening activities. O'Neill, Edmund. Wait, did you say Molina was not? Oh, Molina's pitch. Bruce Brown is to play, not Claxton. Sounds good to me. I got 0 Claxton on FanDuel, and I got 35% Bruce Brown. So me and you will right to the hoop. I don't know. Well, that's I don't know. We're gonna see what happens. All right. Good luck, guys. And let's get it. I'll be popping in and out during the. I can't believe I said that. I'll be coming into this Discord here and again during the weekend probably, and see what. Yeah, I know. Will what kind of content I can provide. All right, guys. That was fun. All right. Talk to you guys later.